your favorite channel, What the Bible Says, with Ngozi Atiti. My name is Ngozi Atiti, and today we want to talk about the xenophobic attack that's been going on in South Africa, especially against Nigerians and other African countries. Today, I want to lay emphasis on saying no to xenophobic attacks. No to xenophobia. But quickly, before we dive into this topic, if this is your first time of coming across my channel, kindly press the red button that says subscribe, and then you click the bell sign. That way, anytime I upload a video, you will be notified. So before we talk on what the Bible says on xenophobia, and we'll find out if there was xenophobic attack or if there was xenophobia at all in the Bible. But before we go into that topic, first of all, what is xenophobia? Xenophobia is a fear or hatred, especially on foreign or strange things, particularly on people. For example, the fear or hatred of foreign people, the fear or hatred of foreign culture, foreign tradition, or anything foreign. That fear or that strong hatred over something strong, especially as it pertains to people, is what we call xenophobia. And some actions that have been going on in South Africa in the recent times in the news is pointing towards xenophobia and xenophobic attack to foreign people and foreign culture and foreign ways that have come into their country, and they seem not to find it easy to accommodate. So before we continue, there was an act of xenophobia in the Bible, and that was that xenophobia was experienced by Paul and Silas. Let's look at what the Bible says about xenophobia. Follow me to Acts chapter 16 from verse 20 to 21. It says, "And when they brought them to the magistrates, they said, 'These men are Jews, and they are disturbing our city. They advocate customs that are not lawful for us as Romans to accept or practice.'" So that was xenophobia there, because from that passage, obviously, I can see that Paul and Silas, they have a different custom to the people where they were residing. So xenophobia is wrong. It's not acceptable. I condemn it. I personally condemn it. The Bible condemns it. God condemns it. And I know any God-fearing individual will condemn xenophobia, because we're all supposed to live as one. We're all supposed to accommodate each other and tolerate each other. Even let's look at what our Bible says in Genesis chapter 1 verse 27. The Bible says God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him, male and female. He created them. So every human being, whether they are dark skin or light skin, brown skin, pale skin, the human being you see is an image of God. I tell you something. The incident that happened in Tower of Babel, God allowed that incident to happen. God allowed that situation to happen to help us to accommodate people with different languages. That was God's own training on human to say, I'm going to do something different. But however you see any different individuals, still accept. So the situation in Tower of Babel was a training center for man to accommodate each other, even when they speak different languages. In Revelation chapter 5 from verse 9 to 10, it says, "And they sang a new song, saying, 'Worthy are you to take the scroll and to open its seals. For you were slain, and by your blood you ransomed people for God, from tribe and language and people and nation. And you have made them a kingdom and priests to our God, and they shall reign on earth.'" So clearly in heaven we're going to see all kinds of people. So heaven is going to be filled with different kind of people. So if we're not able to accommodate ourselves here on earth because we have different customs and different languages, then that means we are not candidates of heaven, because heaven is open to all race. I tell you something, this xenophobia, xenophobic attack is all from the pit of hell. If you're a child of God, if you believe in a positive value system, then you should not take part in anything xenophobic, or you should not be a party to xenophobia of any kind. You might be a xenophobic person in nature, you just don't like foreign people, or you don't just like anything foreign, but yours have not graduated to the extent of hitting or hurting or something. It starts, reorientating yourself, because heaven is going to feel, heaven is going to be filled up with foreign people. Again, in Matthew chapter 28 verse 19, Jesus told his disciples to go and make disciples of all nations, all nations. So again, the disciples of Christ are coming from all nations, all countries, with different customs, with different beliefs, and as long as they obey the instructions of God, as long as they live the life of Christ, irrespective of their culture, irrespective of where they come from and their value systems, they are God's disciples. So you see that in every area the Bible condemns xenophobia. Differences is actually the beauty of it all. So let's use it as our strength rather as a weapon to fight against us. So if Jesus is in you, if you have the mind of Christ, or if you have a positive and a good value system in you, you should not be a party of xenophobia. It should not be found around you in it. And the only language that we're expected to speak is the language of love. That is the language every race, every custom understands. Let us show love to every human being around us. Let us learn to accommodate and appreciate our differences and use it to be a strength that we can use to make our community a very comfortable place and a very fun place to live in. And I tell you another thing, the only thing we're allowed to hate, I tell you, the only thing we're allowed to hate are those things that are foreign to God. Those things that are foreign to the kingdom of heaven. Especially, for example, it is sin. You are to hate sin because sin is not of God. And even sin does not profit any human being. So let's have that spirit to appreciate people and appreciate those differences that we finding on them. So I'm going to stop today on this xenophobia talk. So again, say no to xenophobia, say no to xenophobic attack, say no to hatred, say no to violence. It is a no-no, and if you are caught, you will be prosecuted. So I'm going to leave you here, and until I meet you in another video, I will say no to xenophobia. Shalom. Thank you. Bye-bye.